Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and today I've got a little creepypasta for you, one that involves homeless people and having a good time. But the villain of today's story is me, ladies and gentlemen. Now this isn't no beauty channel style story, okay, where I stuck a crayon up my rectum and it decided that I was a little bi. This isn't one of those stories. This is actually a legitimate story where I am in fact the villain. Now, if you don't know, I tend to not go on many vacations, but when I do, they're often to places that I've never really been before, and they're places that I want to cross off my bucket list. Australia was one of them. Now, let me just start off by saying Australia is the greatest continent on this planet, okay? If I could live anywhere else in the world but Canada, it would be Australia. Specifically the city of Melbourne, by like that South Yarra bank, you know, where it's just beautiful views, everything. Melbourne is like the most elite city on the planet. Now, when I went to Australia, I spent about 2 weeks just going all around, which meant I went to Sydney, I went to Perth, I went to Brisbane, I even went to Ayers Rock, so I got to see some of the outback, and all in all, Australia was a great place. I mean, it's an overall awesome country, but this story is brought to you by one drunk night that Muda had, and this is why I claim to be the villain of the story. Now, in Melbourne, there is a lot of alcohol, there's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of good time. So one night I was really hammered, really wasted, to the point where I could probably barely walk. Now, it was also really early in the night. We're talking around 11 o'clock. There was this place called Little Bourke Street. If you've never been there, it's kind of like downtownish Melbourne. A lot of fun places, very Asian-y sector. If you get really wasted, there's this awesome awesome udon place that I went to. But anyways, I'm sort of deviating from the whole point of the story. Anyways, as I was super wasted, I realized that I ran out of whiskey. Now, as I had no alcohol to fuel my even further stupid drunkardness, one could say that, hey, maybe I should call it quits. Maybe I should sleep it off. Maybe I should tug one out and go to bed. Or maybe I should have a shower. I decided to do none of those situations. I decided instead, I'm going to go out on the town and I'm going to find me some more booze. So at that point, it became like a really discount one-man Harold and Kumar experience of finding the alcohol. And I found out very quickly that Melbourne is a city where if you're already wasted, they won't sell you any alcohol. And guess whose dumbass choice it was to walk inside an alcohol parlor, walk inside a store and go, hey, can I have some more whiskey? Guess who's lit? Guess who's toasted? This guy right here. To which the actual purveyor of the fine establishment said that I couldn't buy any more love juice and told me to leave. And which I did. I didn't want to start a problem. He had a really fucking big bouncer. Like, we're talking this big, chunky sumo wrestler that they definitely... That dude, if there was a case for chugging steroids at birth, that man would be it. So anyways, I left the area. I didn't cause any trouble. And so I started walking around Melbourne, right? I started walking around the streets. And they were desolate empty. We're talking at 11 o'clock. All right, now it's probably like midnight. Now it's like 12:30. So the streets are deader than you would expect. So as I'm walking around at night, I'm in the middle of the area, and there's a big homeless problem in Melbourne, right? There's a homeless problem in many cities. There's a homeless problem in Toronto too, but Melbourne, I mean, they've got some colonies walking around. Let me tell you, boys. So I went to this one store. It was like close to this H&M. There was a Starbucks, and I actually have the card from one of the other stores where this homeless dude was at, where I actually ruined his night, I would say. This is a company called Optus or Yes or whatever it is. It's a Melbourne-based, I think, like a telecom company. So basically, I went over here and I bought a shit ton of like data just so I can listen to like Google Play Music when I was there. Anyways, so as I'm over there, there's this like little nook where you've got like a bunch of these like where you got like a couple of these homeless people just sort of like sleeping the night. It's sort of this nook where you can dodge the rain and shit. Now, this one man had a blanket on, and again, I'm going to preface this right now. I fully understand that I am the bad guy of the story. Feel free to completely trash on me as the villain. I deserve it. I fucking do. This guy had a blanket on him, and so I decided, this man's all comfortable. Let me go over there and yoink this blanket. Now, I didn't take the blanket and run away. Don't fucking think that I would do that. I went up to him in my drunken stupor, grabbed the blanket, and I yoinked it up in the air, and I went like, hey! But guess what? I decided it was like opening a fucking Kinder Surprise egg, right? Sometimes you get a really good toy. Sometimes you just get whatever the fuck I saw. And it was the tights of a tightly wrapped lip on another homeless dude's shaft. So this guy wasn't exactly just sleeping the night off. There was one man under his blanket who was giving what I would say is, if I can describe it as per YouTube's guidelines, the sloppiest top that I have ever seen in my life. I mean, we're talking lips wrapped around. If I had to, like, give the sound effects, and it's a little fucking disgusting, kind of sounds like alien messages sent to us from beyond. But that's kind of the rough, the sort of sound that I heard. Now, in that moment, my drunk state immediately sobered up. I'm talking like it was the fastest sobering of my entire fucking young adult life. Okay, like I woke up from that, I was really hammered, and then as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, shit's fucking real. It's there. Now, luckily, I wasn't stabbed or anything, which is a very fucking real possibility. Getting stabbed out there in Melbourne, very real. And I was doing a very dumb thing by harassing the people who spend their nights on those pavements. Now, I felt a little bit bad about it, for sure. My entire walk home. I think that entire walk, I felt just terrible for ruining that person's night. And I remember distinctly, it was the night where I walked in feeling really sad for ruining it. And then I fell into the shower and started golden showering myself. Because, I mean, I'm drunk. I can't get up, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I turned the water on. It was what it was. I let God sort it out till the fucking morning. And I told this story a couple nights ago on live streams where people asked me some really fucked up sort of stories. And this is one that I passed on. And it made me really reflect on life. It made me really wonder what kind of a person I wanted to be. And if you think that I'm, like, memeing over here, I'm really not. Like, it's kind of like, you hear about people who do, like, acid once or LSD once, and their whole, like, perception on the world changes. After that night, I realized that all I really wanted to do was help people. Really wanted to help people in those kind of situations so that they wouldn't have to spend their nights in a nook getting head from the other person around them. It was definitely a spark of reality, and it changed me as the man that I am today, 100%. And it also made me understand that I was the real loser in that situation. I mean, think about it real quickly, okay? I'm just walking around town like an absolute waste of space being drunk. While that dude was getting proper head. Whether it be from the other homeless person or whatever, that dude was having a good time, and I was the loser that ruined the fucking blowjob in Melbourne. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Tales from Muda. Man, there is no way I can tell this story without coming across like a total fucking asshole. Rate how much of an absolute waste I am in the comment section below. This is me, Mudahar, and if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I'm definitely... I am out.